Qatar says it's been targeted in a hostile media campaign by an unknown entity. The Foreign Minister, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Thani, says a 4-hour cyber attack targeted official media on Tuesday. It posted false statements purportedly made by Qatar's emir about Iran, the US president and Israel. Media outlets linked to Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates went on to report the stories as being fact. Their governments blocked certain Qatari media outlets. David Hearst is a journalist and the editor of Middle East Eye, joining us from London. Who is the onus on in this region to police this kind of thing?
Well, that's a very good question. I mean, in a completely multimedia and international world, it's very, very difficult to police this, especially when you have very, very skilled people who have been assembled to hack sites. There's no doubt in my mind who is behind this. It's not the US, it's someone much, much closer to Doha. And that particular government have been assembling for some time a very elite group of cyber hackers. It's very difficult to protect yourself against it, and you basically have to employ your own people to make sure the websites are secure.
As what you might call terrestrial television or mainstream media moves online, as it all becomes about Twitter, Facebook, an app or a blog, say, is it more difficult to either set up and run governing bodies, not governments, but governing bodies? So you would always have, say, a press complaints type body to go to. But when you're talking about social media, when you're talking about a burgeoning geography of multimedia platforms, very difficult to get a handle on that.
It is extremely difficult, and you've got to remember that we, all of us, you and me, Peter, are working in a highly polarized atmosphere where the whole point of this campaign is to shut down independent journalism. It's not just directed at Al Jazeera or Middle East Eye, or even anyone who has got any links to Qatar. We certainly don't. But it's directed at any media that brings out uncomfortable facts, like, for instance, Madar Masa in Egypt, which is not connected either to Qatar or to the Brotherhood. They're being shut down as well. I think we've got to really see the politics of this, and that is that there is a campaign going on, and we independent journalists have to stand up for what we believe in, and not let ourselves be shut down simply because we continually produce awkward facts for certain governments. It's not actually even a question of governments, it's people within those governments who are doing this. There are princes in Saudi Arabia who I know are dead against this. But there's a ruling clique at the moment that basically wants to shut down independent comment.
Is there another dynamic here that, dare I say it, proper journalists should be aware of, that we've got to ask the right questions of the right people, because there's something else here, and it's stupidity and old-fashioned nastiness, because it's not just about what somebody did or didn't say about Qatar, quoting Qatar, and the original story about Qatar was demonstrably and very obviously a nonsense. I'm thinking about Pizzagate. There are still people in the States who believe Pizzagate was a fact. A DNC staffer being bumped off because he'd been talking to WikiLeaks. Fox News have tried to push and push and push that story, and only recently kind of rode back from it a little bit, because the dead man's family basically said, please stop talking about this. And even just yesterday, Fox News was still talking about it because it fits their narrative, but their narrative is illegal, inaccurate and wrong.
Yeah, completely. The sad truth is that fake news works. It has an audience, and if the same lie is told and retold over a 24-hour news cycle, people believe it. This is a particularly unpoliced media world. And I've got no answers as to how you fight it. The only thing one can say is I think proper journalists should keep on doing their job. I mean, look at the pressure at the moment that the New York Times is under from the Trump administration, simply by old-fashioned, accurate reporting of the investigation into Trump and his circle and their connections with Russia. They have been totally denigrated. So has CNN. These are big news organizations. They're still standing their ground, but that can show you the sort of pressure that they're coming under from the most powerful man in the world.
Okay, we have to leave it there. David Hearst, journalist and editor of the Middle East Eye. David, good to talk to you. Thanks very much.